Hey there everybody, this is Owen with Overtake, and today I wanted to show off one of our newest mods. It is the Overtake shift stop for the 2015 Plus Subaru WRX. So the install for this is going to happen entirely inside of the car here. So before we hop in there, I'm going to do a little unboxing, or unbagging as it were. Peeling open the packaging here, we can see we have the shift stop itself, as well as a little hardware kit. And we have a nice Overtake sticker as well. So getting back to the shift stop itself, it's a nice black glass-filled nylon. And the reason we went for nylon over metal is actually just for abrasion resistance. And also once we get inside, you'll see that the factory reverse lockout stop is made out of the same material. So we're kind of mimicking that. As well as we just want this to last a really long time. So I think with that, there's nothing to it but to hop into the car and start getting this installed. So now that we're here in the car, we can start kind of disassembly on the center console to get down to where the shift stop goes. I'm gonna start by pulling off our nice Overtake mod knob, setting that off to the side. And then here on the VB WRX, I just grab right here behind the shift boot and kind of start popping this up. And then there's just a series of clips that run all the way to the front. You can just pop all those out and you'll see this whole middle trim piece is loose. And then I can take my shift boot and get it up over the reverse lockout handle, just like so, and pull that whole thing off. So now that we have access to the shifter mechanism down here, you can see the factory reverse lockout stop right here on the right side. Essentially how that works is when you push the shifter over, it doesn't let you in, but then you pull up on the lockout, lets you go into reverse like so. Ours is essentially going to act the same way, but we're going to mimic it over on the other side for first and second gear. So the main issue on these transmissions, and the reason that we add a shift stop, is first and second can sometimes get a little weird where you can push over too far and then it won't actually engage the gear. Here, because we're parked, it's going in just fine. But adding one of these, you can actually adjust it to prevent the shifter from coming over too far, and you can just get that gate perfectly aligned every time. Getting started with tools here, the install is going to be really simple. We just need a long 10mm socket and then a 3mm Allen wrench. What I'm going to do to avoid having to adjust the reverse lockout here at all is I'm going to go one at a time on these bolts. So I'm going to start with this bottom one and get that removed. Just get that out of there like so. And then I can go in with one of these studs from our hardware kit, get it started by hand, and then grab my Allen wrench and tighten that the rest of the way down. And what you'll want to do is get it down to where it's snug and then back it off a turn, just so we make sure that we're not contacting the bottom of the shifter. So now we have that first stud in place. I'm going to grab one of the thin nuts out of our hardware kit and carefully get that started on top of here and just spin that down by hand. And then what I'm going to do is grab my 10mm again and just get that fully tightened down. That way we're locking that reverse lockout into the same position it was, and we don't have to do any further adjustment. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this top bolt. Just get that replaced with the stud and the new nut. So there we go, that's kind of phase one complete. Now what we can do is we can take our Overtake shift stop and get that installed down over these studs, and you'll see there's these recessed pockets in the bottom here that go over those thin nuts we have. So that's going to sit just like this. And then this is where it can get a little bit finicky, is we're going to have to get this adjusted and make sure it's aligned top and bottom so the first and second gear both engage smoothly. What I'm going to start by is just taking our washers and getting those added in. And I'm also just going to loosely install these last lock nuts on top as well. And like I said, I'm just gonna leave these loose for now. I'll get them just before they're snugged up. You still want the shift stop to be able to move like that. So now that we have this loosely in place here, we'll need to get it set. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with first gear. Gonna just get the shifter up into first, and you see it has still that much play while you're in gear. What we wanna do is get our shift stop pushed up against the shifter and then pull it back off about the width of a credit card. So not very much, just a little bit there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and snug up that top nut. And then I'm gonna do the same for second gear here as well. You can see it still kind of pivots there. So I'm gonna get it in and then slide it back just a little. And then I can get this snugged down. Now this might take you a little bit of back and forth to get these two aligned properly. But there, I'm feeling pretty good about where those are at. So I'm gonna go back and fully tighten both of these nuts up. So once you have everything adjusted where first and second gear are going in and out very smoothly, you're pretty much wrapped up. One thing I will say is those last two final nuts on top, make sure you don't over tighten those. Once you have everything in place, you can go ahead and slap your center console back together and take it for a drive. Keep in mind that if anything does feel a little weird while you're out driving, all of these parts are adjustable and they're meant to be adjusted. So just take it all back apart. It comes apart in 30 seconds and you can just kind of tweak the alignment of those shift stops. If you're interested in picking up one of the Overtake shift stops, head on over the link up here to our website to our collection of shift goodies, where you can also see our shift plate and brass shifter bushing. If you like what you see here, make sure to follow along at Overtake USA on all social media platforms.